We are now live. We are live. We are live. Wholeness, high vibrations, and greatness. Welcome here to this session. Welcome to this broadcast. I'm excited for you to be joining me here on this special message that I have today. Now, I'm really excited about this message because I know that this message here, man, this is gonna help a lot of people that need this help. But it's also gonna do some other things that I'm excited for. So, without any further ado, let's dive into today's session. And just before we do, I want to let you know that today's message has been brought to you by High Ticket Freedom. This is our online course and coaching program that we utilize to help people turn their knowledge, ideas, life experiences, and life story into their own high ticket offer, high ticket product, or even a high ticket course or coaching program. So that way they can get paid high ticket to share their ideas with the world and use them to not only impact people's lives, but also to create a life that they want to live so that way they can live on their terms. That's what we do inside of High Ticket Freedom every single day. And I just wanted to give that shameless plug to High Ticket Freedom because this broadcast is being brought to you by highticketfreedom.com. So I wanted to create this session and I wanted to deliver a message to the Black community. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because obviously I'm a melanated man. I'm a Black man myself I grew up African American, if you will, but my roots are extended to Bahamas and Haiti, and of course, beyond that, they go back to Africa, right? But I wanted to make this message because I've been recognizing something, right? A lot of Black people, Black man, Black woman, we like to, a lot of Black people like to look at their circumstances and not take full accountability, responsibility, and accept their circumstances and accept that they chose these circumstances. A lot of Black people like to point the finger at the man, right, or the system, or this or that, and use that as their crutch for why they're not successful. They like to use certain things as their crutch for why they're not where they want to be. They like to make excuses. They like to do say all these things, and it's like, yo, let's be real here. With the power of technology, like all that stuff you're saying, yeah, it still exists, but the reality is that we have opportunities available to us with technology as Black people that were not available, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 400 years ago. Certain opportunities were not available, right? But they're available today. And there's a lot of people in the Black community that are just complaining. They're pointing the finger at somebody else. They're trying to find somebody else to blame, right? They're blaming God, or they're blaming the devil, or they're blaming, their mom. They're blaming their dad or their whoever wasn't there, right? And a lot of these times as they're blaming somebody else and blaming and pointing the finger at somebody else, what's happening is that their problem is not getting solved. So if you're a Black person or a person of color, melanated, whatever it may be, you got to understand, we live in a world today that is, there's an abundance of opportunities. There's an abundance of options. There's an abundance of things that we can do to empower ourselves and take our life to the next level. But how many of us actually take advantage of those opportunities and like take full acceptance and full responsibility for our life? Not a lot of us. And so, I was actually looking at what's happening? Like, what's going on? Like, what are the things that are, really stopping a lot of Black people from getting out there, building an online business and being able to become successful with what they're doing? Well, one of the reasons, that's relatively obvious to me is systematic racism, right? Racism that has been built in systematically to the way things run and operate in the United States of America. I'm not going to dive too deep into it in this video because I challenge you to do your own research about, things that have been built in systematically in terms of like racism, right? Whether it be on the real estate side, whether it be on the banking side, whether it be on the, even getting into the food business, right? Because if you don't know anything about me and my experience, my partners and I, we got into the food business. We actually got a beverage product into retail stores, thousands of stores. And let me tell you, it is not an easy business because there is, first off, it's not an easy business for any ethnicity, anybody from anywhere, any walk of life, right? But for a Black person to get into that space, it's very difficult because sometimes they don't, I'll just leave it at that. There's a lot of challenges and difficulties surrounding it, and if you don't know how to circumvent and get around those challenges, you're gonna have to turn around and go back to where you started from and go back to the drawing board, right? And unfortunately, this is what a lot of Black people experience when they try to break into big business. They try to do certain things, right? They operate, but they don't understand like there are some systematic racism elements involved in the economy, and these are real problems we have to face. We have to deal with no matter what. It doesn't matter how smart, educated, rich, broke, none of that matters, right? Like the systematic racism is here no matter what. And it was here before we were born, and it might be here after we die. Who knows? Maybe it'll get dismantled. Who knows? But right now, this is a reality, right? But this is something that a lot of black people use as a crutch to say, oh, systematic racism is stopping me from being successful. I hear you on that, but at the end of the day, there's so many black people out here that have created amazing amounts of success despite the challenges, despite the systematic racism. You see what I'm saying? So even with the systematic racism in place, that shows that you, as a black person, you still have the ability to succeed despite those challenges. You see what I'm saying? There are tremendous economic disadvantages that most black people in the black community are born into. I'm not even gonna say face. They are born into these economic disadvantages from banks not approving loans for homes so people can move out of the projects, right, to move into a decent house or whatever, or they can move out of the apartment into a decent home. A lot of people in terms of credit, we're not, a lot of people in the black community are not taught about credit, how to utilize credit, how to build their credit, right? So when it comes to financial literacy, this is something that is completely missing out of the picture, which actually hinders the process of black people being able to create, build, save, and grow their own wealth, right? So there's definitely a wealth gap that's in place, and it's something that we can't get around it, but I think the major part is to not use it as a crutch, to not use it as something that's against you, but to use it as something that empowers you, something that makes you stronger, something that makes you better. I remember when I would be in class and in school, and I would listen to some of my Caucasian counterparts in class say certain things and answer certain questions, and then I would answer a question, right? But one of the things I would notice is that for my question and for like what I had to say to resonate, like I had to not only be correct, I had not only to be correct, but I had to make sure that I was able to articulate myself and explain why the answer was correct or right, based on the schooling system, like why it was correct based on the studies or whatnot. And I just recognized I always had to work a little bit harder, right? And I'm not saying that was a disadvantage to me. It was actually the best thing, because that me recognizing I needed to work a little bit harder as a black man to succeed, it actually forced me to actually excel in certain areas and to actually become an overachiever in different ways. Okay. And so, but I'm not perfect. I'm just human. You know what I mean? I've just learned I got to work a little bit harder than some of my counterparts. And I don't use it as a crutch. I use it as something to empower me. And a lot of black people, they do the opposite, right? So I just share that because hopefully it inspires somebody, it encourages somebody to shift your perspective on the challenges you may be facing and use them for, your positive benefit. And another thing is that, there's a digital divide that's happened, right? And this digital divide is essentially refers to the unequal distribution of technology and the internet, right? So most black people don't necessarily have the most up-to-date technology. I'm not saying everybody, because some black people are watching, like maybe you're a black person, you're watching this on your new iPhone, or you're watching this on your new tablet or your new computer or your new laptop, whatever. But on a mass scale, right? Maybe you're one of the few, you're one of the exceptions who has access to great technology. But on a mass scale, okay, the black community and black men are less likely to have access to the internet, okay, and certain forms of technology, right? And let's be real, this right here, this limits their opportunities and their abilities, right? And I'll be honest, okay, when I first got started making money online back in 2010, I know it sounds like a long time ago, but when I first got started, I didn't have a laptop, I didn't have a computer, and I was not the most computer literate person, right? And so that means that I fall into that example of the digital divide where, back then, where I was not educated, I didn't have access to the technology, I didn't have a laptop, I didn't have these things, right? So that digital divide was something that actually did affect me. But I was not gonna sit down and just bow out and let it just take me down, right? I just had to find a way. So what did I do? I went to the public library in my community and I went and used the computer there. You see what I'm saying? When I got to my college campus, I went and used their computer lab, so that way I could use their computer lab, use their computers, and do what I had to do. And I actually started making money on the school's computers. Okay, I started making money online on the school's computers because I didn't even have a computer to make money online. You feel me? But I didn't allow that to stop me. I didn't use it as a crutch. I kept going. You feel me? And through keeping on going, keeping on, success came. All right. And so another thing that I want to share is that, I've been doing this for, I've been coaching people online since 2014. My students collectively have earned well over $10 million. Honestly, probably a lot more than that, because I've helped some of my clients actually earn millions of dollars. And I've helped many clients earn multiple six figures. Many clients earn five figures. Some, several that have earned four figures, many that have earned three figures, and some that have earned, two figures and just $1 or $8, whatever. Like, I've helped a lot of people make money online, and I got some students that have made no money. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'd rather be transparent than lie to you. Okay. So because I have this diverse experience of working with literally thousands of people from, many countries around the world, I've learned something. Okay. I've learned that in this new day and time and new age, online business is one of the great equalizers of our time, because online business, what it allows you to do, it allows anybody, okay, from any walk of life, whether you're a black man, a black woman, whether you're, a Latino, whether you're Asian, whether you're Caucasian, it doesn't matter, right? It's a great equalizer because it allows anybody to get online, gain specific skill sets, set up things in a specific way, and then use that skill, use that, tool or that system, whatever they set up, to be able to produce income without having to go to a job, without having to report to the man, without having to face, harassment at work or racial discrimination at work, without having to deal with some of the same things you deal with at the office, those annoying coworkers that are shallow and talk trash about you when you walk away, without having to deal with those small talk conversations, spreading gossip around the office and creating a toxic environment around the office or wherever you work at, the warehouse or the store or the restaurant, whatever you work at, right? Like, you don't have to deal with those things. Like, leveraging the internet and leveraging online business can actually produce the same amount of money that you make at that job that you don't like, facing all types of racial discrimination and facing whatever you got to face, right? Because I myself, I worked a corporate job. I face certain things. It doesn't matter, right? Because I use it to make me better and make me stronger. But what I'm getting at is online business equalizes the playing field because it allows anybody from any walk of life to develop specific skills, put a system in place, and make money. I know I repeated myself just now, and I do this strategically because I want to make sure you get the point. I want to hammer it into your brain so that way you get it, okay? Because when you get that this is one of the great equalizers of our time, you can actually take advantage of it, utilize it to be able to live the life you want to live. I have been living a life that I've chosen and I've desired to live, okay? I'm not saying my life is perfect, but I absolutely love my life because it's a life that I created intentionally, thanks to the power of my online business says, okay? So I recommend, when you're thinking about it, just the whole economic space and the financial space of what's happening, think about, an online business as a way for you to be able to take advantage, right, of the wealth transfer that's happening right now. Because there's a wealth transfer that's happening. Like, there's wealth getting transferred right now as we speak. And it's happening through many different ways. One of them is online business, whether it's e-commerce, online courses, ebooks, online coaching. This is happening, like, whether you like it or not. So I highly recommend getting in front of it. And the other thing is that, the internet offers a global marketplace and the opportunity to reach a larger customer base. So it doesn't matter what race you are, it doesn't matter what gender you are or your location. You can be a black man, a black woman, okay, an Asian man, an Asian woman, okay. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. With the internet, you can make money from anywhere. And for those of you who are tuning in live, thank you so much. Please say hello. Please give me a shout out. Like, let me know if this content is resonating with you. Let me know if this content is helpful for you. Please let me know in the comments. But regardless of the what, I want to get back to it, right? Because I got some more great information I want to share, and I want to bring this to a wrap up here relatively shortly. Okay, cool. So another thing to keep in mind is that, like, when it comes to taking your life to the next level, gaining more control of your life, entrepreneurship actually empowers you, because to be an entrepreneur, it's not just about making money. A lot of people think that, but the reality is that becoming an entrepreneur is about the transformation. It's about the person that you become along the journey. I have been in situations where, me being an entrepreneur has actually benefited me in many different ways. But one of the biggest benefits that I've gotten from it is when I take a look in the mirror, I look at the person that's, looking me back in my eyes in the mirror, and I'm like, man, look at you, bro. You was just a kid from South Miami, bro. Like, man, you was just a kid that they always pick last. You was a kid that they would bully in school and pick on and laugh at because you didn't have no clothes, because you were broke, you were poor. Like, you was that kid. But now look at you, man. Businessman, got product in stores, sold product to thousands of people on the internet from all over the world, help people create millions of dollars on the internet, help change families, help people quit their jobs and work online full time from home, and like help people travel the world through their online business that you helped them create. Like, man, you did that, Mr. Baptiste. Now keep going. You know what I mean? Like, I'm able to do that. And it's like that right there, that's one of the best parts, right? So I would say that becoming an entrepreneur, it can absolutely help you tremendously because you're forced to develop yourself into a better person, right? You're forced to improve your communication skills so you can communicate with multiple people groups, from suppliers, vendors, customers, government, right? And other legal institutions, family, friends, co-workers, team members, right? You have to improve your communication across all these sectors. I'm not saying that you can't do that with just a regular job, but with a regular job, your communication skills definitely should improve. But when you're an entrepreneur, you have no choice but to improve your communication skills if you are to create a successful organization that will continue to grow and thrive. So this is something to keep in mind. This is something to think about. And, one of the things I want to say is that, not only can it empower you in terms of like your personality, your personal development, but also financially. Like when you see those sales coming in, when you see that money coming in, when you finally see that you've made more money in a single month than you made at your job, it changes your life. It changes the way that you see the world. Man, I remember, I was working my first full-time job out of college. And before I got into that job, I actually was making more money online before I had a job. Like, I had a day job, but the day job was paying me less than I was making online. Whatever. But it was great because it showed me like, I don't want this. I don't want this. Like, I don't want this. I don't need this, but I'm in it because I need to know, how do other people feel that have this type of a thing going on? And so that way I can know what they're going through so I can help them get out of it. You see what I'm saying? But like for me, like I knew online was the way. As soon as in 2010, I knew that I'm doing this for the rest of my life. And I haven't stopped, and I'm not going to, you know what I mean, until the internet breaks. Okay. And obviously the internet has not broken. Okay. Kim Kardashian did not break the internet. Okay. None of these models and celebrities have broken the internet yet. So I think the internet is going to be around for a bit longer. Okay. But don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. So, just getting back to it though, right? Many black people, black man, black woman, we get into these situations, these conversations, and this mindset that like the world owes you something, right? Or like, you're entitled to something because of like all your pain and Look, let me tell you right now, the world owes you nothing. Nobody owes you nothing. Nobody's going to give you nothing. There's no rescue team coming for you. There's no savior coming for you. There's no captain of the ship coming for you. Okay. There's no spaceship coming out the sky, at least that I know of, coming for you right now. I mean, hey, I don't know, right? That part I don't know, but I just know for a fact, like there is no knight in shining armor coming to say, hey, black man, look, your situation is pretty bad. Here, give me your hand, jump on the back of my horse, and we shall ride to freedom. We shall ride to victory. No. Let's not be delusional. No delusions. Okay. Let's accept the truth of reality as it is. Let's hold ourselves accountable to become greater in whatever area it is. And let's actually do some real things to change our life. Because if you do not do so, I'm telling you right now, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. Real talk. So because nobody's coming to save you, you must save yourself. If you're watching live, write that down. You must save yourself. You got to save yourself, baby. And, one of the things I also want to say is that, to the black community, I know that there was some trauma that happened hundreds of years ago, centuries ago. And it also has occurred this trauma happening still, right? Regardless of what has happened, we must look at how to move forward, because if we don't, we spin our wheels in the same thing. And I got to be honest with you. Like I myself, I've elevated my consciousness and my awareness to where I've gotten beyond certain things. Right. And the more aware you become, you realize like black and white, all of this stuff. Listen, man, it's like there's some other. You gotta be mindful of what I say. There's something you realize as you become more aware. You realize that we are all the same deep down within, right? In terms of like we all come from the same creator. We all come from, same source, right? And all of us, most of us for the most part want a good life, happiness, love, laughter, success, want to make some money, feed their family, feed themselves, live out some of their dreams, whatever that may be, have some experiences, watch some stuff, collect items, whatever. Like everybody, everybody, has things that they want. But at the end of the day, white, black, Asian, Latin, like we all want very similar things. So if we can move beyond the things that divide us, we'd be great. But I know that's probably not going to happen tomorrow, right? Because everybody's got their beliefs that they're holding on to. And rather than taking the division and using it to divide us further, what I want to do is I want to empower the black community. Okay, I want to empower you, black man. I want to empower you, black woman. Why? Here's why. Because I have gone out into this world. I've sold a lot of things, sold a lot of different people, and I've recognized something. Like there's a lot of communities that receive a lot of help and a lot of benefits from governments, state-funded programs, and just all these types of things. Not to mention the ancestral wealth that's been passed down, right, throughout the Caucasian community that they've used to kind of, be able to have that wealth there. And there's so many things out there, but it's like, how many people in the black community are being served at the highest level in comparison to other communities? Well, I don't know that answer. But what I do know is that I'm now choosing to serve the black community at a higher level. I've already been doing it, but now I'm choosing to do it at a higher level. And I want you to know that I'm here for you, and I want you to win. And what I've done and everything I've achieved, I'm here because I want to help other people achieve great things in their life. I'm here because I want to help other people be inspired to go to the next level. I'm here because there was a time in my life where I was in the inner city of Miami, and I love my family. I love the people that were there and the friends I grew up with. But the reality is that I did not enjoy growing up without having options. Only being told, hey, black man, the only way you're going to succeed in this world is by being an athlete, an entertainer, a musician, or possibly a street thug, right? And I was like, hold on, man, there ain't nothing else I could do as a black man to be successful. But again, I was brainwashed to believe that because of I was a product of my environment, right? In which I made it out eventually. But I share this with you because once I realized my mindset and where I wanted to go in my life, I needed to change my mindset. I needed to change the way I think. I needed to change the way I move. And so I began to research and go through courses and go through information and watch videos, and I began to learn. And in the process of learning, this taught me skills that I use in my real life, and I use these skills to actually benefit my life immediately. And one of the best skills that I learned was how to make money online. And so I come to you today to inspire you. I come today to motivate you. And if I have done that, I want you to just type below inspired. If I've inspired you today, write the word inspired below, please. Again, if I've inspired you today, just write the words inspired below, so that way I know I've inspired you. And for those of you who are watching live, thank you so much for confirming that you've been inspired by this session today. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So look, if you're really inspired, then I want to share something with you. For however long it's been, so many people have been confused and lost and stuck. Thank you so much for writing inspired. I appreciate that. For those of you who write inspired, please drop the word inspired below. Definitely appreciate it. But for so long in my life, right, I have wondered, man, how can I take my life to the next level? How can I earn income and live life that I want to live, right? And then I finally figured that out many years ago, back in 2015. And when I figured that out, I was like, whoa, this is awesome. I want to share this with as many people as possible. And that's when I began to share with other people. They got amazing life-changing results. I'm talking about one of my first students was able to make $5,000 in 2 weeks. He kept going, and a few months later, maybe within 6 months, this man started making over $50,000 a month with his business partner. From the same business model that I showed him, you know what I mean? From the same thing I showed him, and his life is like, is way better. It's like he moved into a new house, he quit his job, things got better for him, and he even started like anyway, I'm not going to go too much deep into his story, but I tell you this because when I recognize this student create this transformational result, that's when I say I got something here. And that's when High Ticket Freedom was born back in 2015. We've been changing lives around the world ever since then. And so I want to share something with you because I believe if you're looking to learn how to take your life, your business to the next level, I'm the man to help you. I can absolutely help you. Here's how I can help. What I decided to do is I've decided to actually give away free clarification calls as a way to help you get more clarity on what kind of business can you start, get more clarity on what kind of ideas can you monetize, get more clarity on how our system works, how our coaching works, how our courses work, so that way you can get the help that you need specifically to help you go to that next level. In order to learn more about our free clarification calls, just go to highticketfreedom.com/free-clarification. Again, that link is highticketfreedom.com/free-clarification. Now, you can go to this link, fill in the information, and when you do so, we're going to actually reach out to you. So either myself or someone from our team will be reaching out to you directly to speak to you about setting up that clarification call, so that way we can learn more about you and help you get clarity on what you need to do in order to take your life and business to the next level, okay? So again, that link is highticketfreedom.com/free-clarity. Fill in the information and we will reach out to you about helping you take your life and business to the next level. Thank you so much for everyone that tuned in live. All right, and I want to see, do we got any questions before we get out of here? And just some real quick shout outs for those of you who are here watching live. Just go through some shout outs. Shout out to B_Trigger_VM. Thanks, B Trigger. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you, Brian. Shout out to Saint Zero. Saint Zero, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you, Saint Zero. Then we got it's Rosalind. It's Rosalind_. Thank you so much. It's Rosalind_ for tuning in. Immorales _. Thank you so much, Immorales, for tuning in. Thank you. GVO Ahmad, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you, man. Yes, sir. No spaceship coming, baby. No spaceship coming. We got to save ourselves, create our own spaceship and take off. Say yourself. There you go, baby. That's it. Got to say yourself. It's a class war. Absolutely. It is a class war that's happening. But the thing is, it's a war across every single front, man. And, I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but, everything from race, gender, politics, class, you name it. It's happening. It's happening. The only thing we can do is do something. I mean, you can do nothing. That's a choice too, right? But doing something is like, you want to change. You want something to change, so you decide to do something, and it's better to do something. At least in my experience, it's better to do something, right? If you do nothing, then no change happens. If you do something, a possibility of change is there. So thank you so much. We got Apas Richa _. I hope I said your name right. I hope I didn't butcher it too. I hope I didn't get it too bad, too wrong. Thank you for tuning in as well. Thanks for watching. And for those of you looking at me like, man, why does the guy keep looking at? We got the double camera setup going on. We're broadcasting live on Instagram right here. We're broadcasting live on Facebook right here. And so we're broadcasting simultaneously on multiple platforms. And I want to thank those of you who are here live for tuning in. And for those of you who are watching the replay, thank you as well for coming on and joining and participating and being a part of this replay as well. Will Lane. Hey, Will, thank you so much, man. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for jumping on and joining. Definitely appreciate you. So one of the things I wanted to say, right? So a lot of black men who want to start businesses, you said nowhere close to your name, but we'll get, okay, hey, look, my bad, man. I messed your name up. I apologize, okay? But, I just know that I had good intentions. I wanted to say your name correctly. I had good intentions, but we'll just go with it. That's cool. But I do want to say something, right? For those of you who are out here, whether you're a black man, black woman, okay, or of any other ethnicity, right? But my experiences have taught me something. In order to truly succeed at the levels that we want to succeed at, one of the best things you can do is be you, be yourself, And being yourself, it's a scary thing in this world, man, because people want fake. They're like fake is like in, like fake is the thing people really enjoy. And when something's real, they back up. It's a little too much. They scared, they get intimidated, they don't want the truth. They rather live in the lie. They rather live in the delusion and accept the delusion and be okay with that. But I'm not okay with living in the delusion. I'm not okay with living a lie. I rather live my truth, even if that means, my truth it comes from the bottom of the bottom. You know what I mean? I'd rather live that than live a lie, because eventually that lie will run out. And when that lie runs out, what happens? You burn out, or you quit, or you give up, or you throw the towel in. You know what I mean? That's what happens when you live a lie. So live your truth. That's one of the things I've learned. So I'm living my truth, because as a black man creating an online business, black woman, like whatever your thing is, but me as a black man, I'm telling you, it has not been easy. It's been a challenge, and I don't complain. I don't even publicize it. I don't even talk about it. I don't talk about it, because we live in a world that has racism built into the system, right? That at least exists. I mean, it's everywhere. And because we live in this system where racism does exist, the challenges that I face, I've overcame a lot of those challenges, and I'm still dealing with them, but I'm still going past them, and I'm gonna get through them. You see what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep living in my truth, and I'm gonna live in my truth more, because I see how important it is and how needed it is. So I wanted to say to you, live in your truth. It doesn't matter who comes around or, what's going on. Live in your truth, because if you don't, you're going to live a lie. And the longer you live a lie, it's like, what's the point of even living then? So live your truth. That's one of the best things you can do for you. Live your truth. Live your truth. Look, if you're here with me live still, just drop the word live your truth. Let me know if you're here with me live. Write the word live your truth. And thank you so much for tuning in. We got Real Estate with Yashulina. Thanks so much for tuning in. Real Estate with Yashulina. Thank you so much. Live your truth, baby. Live your truth. Live your truth. Don't let them people lie to you, baby. Live your truth. It's important. It's very, very important. We need it right now, more than ever. More than ever. All right. So look, thank you so much, Tribe, for tuning in. Thank you all from around the world. There you go. Live your truth. That's what I'm talking about. Live your truth. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you all for tapping in. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for joining. Okay, this is my first message to the black community, and I hope that this was received well. I hope that this was received with love and joy, and I hope that you've been inspired by this session. I hope you've been inspired by this build, okay, where we built on some great information, and we're going to build on a lot more. So please stay tuned in, stay tapped into what we got going on and coming up next. And man, greatness ahead. Absolute greatness ahead. Thank you, Coco Slim. Thanks so much for joining in. Thanks for tuning in to our live session. But we're now getting ready to wrap this baby up. Any more questions before we get out of here? Anything anybody wants to ask, get clarity on? Because I'm going to end this session. And since we don't have any further questions, that is it. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you once again. Your man, Michael Baptiste, signing out. I will see you inside of the next session, see you inside of the next build. And I'll leave you with this energy just before I get out of here. Wholeness, high vibrations, and greatness. That is it. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, Tribe. Peace.